The Kraft Foods Company, makers of Kraft Quality Foods, presents Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve. How would you like to win $6,000 in cold cash or any one of the more than 1,300 other cash prizes in Parkey Margarine's great $50,000 Name My Song contest? It's one of the easiest and most exciting contests in radio, and it's open to listeners in the United States, Canada, and Hawaii. Hear all about it in our next announcement. And now, the Great Gildersleeve, brought to you by the makers of Parkey, the margarine millions prefer because it tastes so good. That's Parkay. Parkay margarine, made by Kraft. In case you weren't around last week, the Great Gildersleeve has written a song. It's going to be published, too, when he finds a title for it. Yes, the great man is in fine spirits these days, and the house is filled with music. Well, one room of the house, anyway.
There's an old familiar strain, a haunting refrain that takes me back to days of yore. I see a chapel on the hill.
Hey, Marge.
What, Leroy?
Listen to the aquacade.
Well, Uncie's happy.
Hey, Unc.
I'll be out in a minute.
I got a title for your song.
You have?
Yeah, Moon Over the Bathtub.
Leroy. Marjorie, you seen my jade tie clip?
Well, isn't it up on your dresser? My, you look nice, Unkie.
Thank you, my dear.
Have you got a date tonight?
Not yet, but I will have if Leroy ever gets off the telephone.
It's okay, Unc. I'm through.
You only talked 42 minutes. What happened? Get disconnected?
No, Peggy had to go to bed.
That's where you'd better be going. And don't forget to take your bath, young man.
Can't I take it in the morning?
You're lucky if you have time to put on both shoes in the morning, let alone take a bath. And don't take that turtle in the tub with you.
But, Unc.
I mean it. Keep your turtle under the bed where turtles belong.
Good night, Unc.
Yeah, good night, my boy.
Night, Marge.
Night.
Now, where's my book of telephone numbers?
Well, you mean you're going to call somebody now for a date tonight?
Certainly. Why not?
Well, golly, Uncle Mort, if a boy called me for a date at the last minute, I wouldn't even speak to him.
Well, that's the difference, my dear, between an inexperienced boy and a mature man. The boy is unsure of himself and calls well in advance to play safe. The man, however, being confident and familiar with the workings of the feminine mind, calls on the spur of the moment.
Really?
Of course. Shows he's impetuous and exciting. It implies that if the girl doesn't wish to go, why, poof, he can get a dozen others just like that.
You do understand women, don't you, Unkie?
Well, I wasn't born yesterday, my dear.
Well, good night, Uncle Mort.
Good night, Marjorie. Brilliant girl. Now, let's see. Who'll I call first? I could call Eve Goodwin. Nothing wrong with dating a school teacher on a school night. Not home. Wonder what a school teacher's doing out on a school night. Well, there's Thelma Bagley. No answer. Where is everybody? Why, George, I'm not going to stay home even if I have to scrape the bottom of the barrel.
Judge Hooker speaking.
Hello, Barrel. Hello, Judge.
What?
What about a game of pinochle, Horace?
Sorry, Gildy, but I've been invited out this evening to learn canasta.
Canasta?
You know, the card game everybody talks about, but nobody plays.
Yes. Well, go ahead and play canasta, Judge. I just thought since I wasn't doing anything this evening.
Oh, I'm sorry, Gildy. Had I known you wanted company...
All right, Judge. I don't mind sitting at home all alone.
We'll get together real soon. I promise.
Sure, real soon.
Good night, Gildy.
Good night, Judge. Canasta. I'd better watch that old goat. He'll eat the deck. Well, I can always go down to the police station and shoot the breeze with Chief Gates. I'll see if he's around.
Hello?
Huh?
Hello?
I didn't know the chief had lady cops. Is this police headquarters?
No, this isn't police headquarters.
Didn't think it was.
I'm afraid you have the wrong number.
Now, wait a minute. What wrong number do I have, madam? Miss? Mrs.?
It's not Mrs.
It isn't? Well.
But you still have the wrong number.
But... She hung up. And that was the nicest sounding wrong number I ever had. No point in calling the chief now. Not after that. Might as well go to bed. Good morning, Bessie.
Good morning, Mr. Gildersleeve. My, you're at work early.
I had some very urgent matters to attend to this morning.
Oh, that reminds me. There was a telephone call for you, Mr. Gildersleeve. I wrote it down here.
Where?
I think I wrote it down.
Well, who was it?
Was it Judge Hooker?
How should I know?
I'm sure it was Judge Hooker. He wants you to call him back.
Well, I haven't time this morning.
Or was he going to call you back?
Bessie?
I'm sure it was one or the other.
Yes. I'm going to have to do something about that Bessie. Oh, let's see. When I got the wrong number, I was calling the police station, Main 123. Her number must be some combination of that. She's bound to be a water customer. Everybody drinks water. I'll try 213. If that isn't her number, I'll try... Hold on, Gildersleeve. Wonder if you should be doing this. You're a grown man. You have a responsible job as a city official. It's entirely possible you're making a fool of yourself. Well, I wouldn't be the first city official who has. Still, I can't do it. I'll have to forget last night. It was just one of those enchanted evenings. We're just like those two little birds out there. We met on the telephone wire. Now one of them's flying away across town. You'll never see the other one again. Oop, he's circling back. Yeah, look at them. They're billing and cooing. Where's that telephone? Main 213.
Hello? I beg your pardon?
This is Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, a city water commissioner.
Oh?
I've been doing a little checking with our subscribers. How's the water pressure out there?
Well, it seems to be all right.
Any faucets dripping?
Yes, I believe there's a couple of them. And now that you mention it, there's a leak around the water heater.
Oh, we'll have to stop those right away. Can't waste water, you know. We'll be right out. Now, what was the address?
527 West Maple.
527 West Maple, eh? Well, thank you very much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bessie?
Yes, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Bessie, I'm going out for a while. I've got to inspect the heater on Maple Street.
A heater?
And what a heater. Here's the place. Just the kind of house I thought she'd live in. White, with green shutters. The mat says welcome. Lucky I dressed up in my blue serge suit this morning. I hear footsteps. I'll bet she's more beautiful than her voice.
Good morning.
Good morning. I talked to you on the phone. I talked to you?
Oh, are you from the water department?
Well, yes. Wrong number again.
You You must be the man who talked to my daughter.
Your daughter? Oh, well, I'm Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, City Water Commissioner.
I'm happy to meet you, Mr. Gildersleeve. I'm Mrs. Milford.
Mrs. Milford. Well, glad to meet you.
Won't you come in?
Thank you. Delighted.
We've had a dreadful time with the water heater this morning, Mr. Gildersleeve. Do you have your workmen outside?
Workman? No. I'm doing this job myself. If your daughter will be kind enough to tell me where the trouble is.
Well, just come with me, Mr. Gildersleeve. The kitchen floor is completely flooded. I'm afraid you'll have to use a mop before you can get to the heater.
Mop? Well, if your daughter will show me where the mop is...
I have the mop right here, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yes. By the way, where is your daughter?
Oh, she had to go to the hospital.
The hospital? Oh, my goodness. Nothing serious, I hope.
Maternity case.
Maternity case?
She's a registered nurse, Mr. Gildersleeve.
A nurse? Oh, well. For a moment, Is that her picture on the buffet?
Yes, that's my Catherine.
Catherine? She's awful pretty. But she looks a little young.
Oh, you'd never guess it, Mr. Gildersleeve. But she's 32.
Well, I was afraid she'd be too young for me.
I beg your pardon?
I mean, for 32, she looks very young to me. But I guess being around medicines and disinfectants keeps a person looking young.
Oh, yes, Catherine loves her work. In fact, I think she works too hard. She hasn't had time to meet any new friends since we came to Summerfield.
Really? No, that's too bad.
About the only man who's called her was a telephone Romeo. Had the wrong number last night.
Well, I better roll up my pants and get busy with the mop. I'll have everything shipshape by the time your daughter gets home. By the way, when will your daughter be home?
Oh, Catherine should be here in about an hour. How long will you be working back there?
About an hour. Getting damp back here again. Can't sit behind this heater much longer. This pilot light is beginning to give me a sunburn.
Oh, Catherine, I'm so glad you're home.
Hello, Mother.
Well, she's home at last.
Did the man ever come to fix the heater?
Oh, yes. The water commissioner came out himself.
Oh?
And, Catherine, he's the nicest man. Come on, I want you to meet him.
I'm in.
Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yes, Mrs. Milford.
This is my daughter, Catherine.
Oh, how do you do? Pardon me while I get from behind this heater. Close quarters.
I'm very glad to know you, Mr. Gildersleeve. It was so kind of you to come out.
Don't mention it. All in the line of duty.
Oh, and look at Mr. Gildersleeve's beautiful suit.
Huh?
Rust and dirt all over it.
Oh, it's nothing.
And there's a big smudge on your nose. Catherine, wipe the soot off Mr. Gildersleeve's nose.
Oh, of course. What a shame.
Never mind.
Catherine will get it off. She's a registered nurse.
Hold still, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Not with your pretty lace hanky.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Nice perfume.
Lean a little closer, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Mr. Gildersleeve has been so good to us, Catherine. I think we should do something nice for him.
Oh, that isn't necessary. Just one thing. To be safe, I'd like to come back and check up on the water heater if you and Catherine are going to be home this evening.
Oh, yes. Why don't you have dinner with us?
Well, it's all right. I don't want to butt in.
Oh, no, we'd love to have you. Wouldn't we, Catherine?
Oh, of course.
See you tonight, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yeah. Toodaloo, Mrs. Milford.
I can't thank you enough for all you've done for us. Certainly you don't do this for everybody in Summerfield.
Oh, no. No, indeed.
You're very sweet. Of course, I know why you wanted to come back tonight.
Oh, you do?
Certainly. Every man who comes in the house falls in love with Mother. Bye.
Mother.
$6,000 in cash prizes. That's what Parquet Margarine will award in 5 weekly contests for the best title submitted for Gildersleeve's song. He'll sing it later, so have pencil and paper handy. Yes, every week for 5 weeks, Parquet is awarding 4 $1,000 cash prizes, 20 $100 cash prizes, 50 $20 cash prizes, 200 $10 cash prizes, and each week's winners become eligible for the extra cash prize of $5,000. That's $6,000 in all to the grand prize winner. Now, you don't need to know a note of music. A single word, just a few at most, may win. Send your name for Gildy's song, together with the red end flap of a package of Parquet Margarine, to Parquet Margarine, Box 5167, Chicago 77, Illinois. Free entry blanks with printed contest rules and the words of Gildy's song are available at your food dealers. Or use a plain piece of paper if you prefer. Be sure to include your own name and address and that of your Parquet dealer. Now write down that address. Parquet Margarine, Box 5167, Chicago 77, Illinois. And be sure to include the red end flap of a Parquet package. First week's contest ends October 8th. So hurry. Your entry may be worth $6,000. Well, the great Gildersleeve took a chance on a long shot and came home a heavy winner. He maneuvered to meet the girl with the intriguing telephone voice. And now he's happily looking forward to an evening with Miss Catherine Milford.
Guess I'd better retie this tie. Wish I knew how to tie one of those big knots and still have some tie left. There. Catherine should like that. Catherine. Pretty name. Better tell Bertie I won't be home for dinner. Bertie! Oh, Bertie!
You call me, Miss Gildersleeve?
Yes, Bertie. I won't be home for dinner tonight.
Yes, I know.
Oh?
You're going to have dinner with Judge Hooker.
What?
That judge is the kindest man, Mr. Gildersleeve. He's been calling here all day to invite you out to dinner.
He has?
He was so sorry he had to leave you in the lurch last night. He rigged up a fine time for you at the Sons of Summerfield Club.
Bertie, I'm not having dinner with the judge tonight.
You ain't?
I happen to have an engagement with a young lady.
Yes, sir.
I hate to disappoint the judge, but I don't want to disappoint myself either. And Miss Milford.
Yes, sir. The judge sure was sorry about leaving you in the lurch last night.
I realize that, Bertie.
That poor judge, I can see him sitting up there now, staring at a vacant chair.
No, Bertie.
That poor lonesome man left in the lurch, just sitting and staring.
Please, Bertie.
Left in the lurch, just sitting and staring.
Bertie.
Mr. Gildersleeve, you know why he's just sitting and staring?
Yes, Bertie.
Because he's left in the lurch.
Bertie's right. If I know the judge, that's what he'll be doing, sitting and staring. Why does the judge have to be so sentimental about his friendships? You'd never understand why I'd rather have dinner with a pretty girl than an old goat. Well, I just can't let him catch me. Hello, Peavy.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. What can I do for you?
Well, I want to make a couple of purchases.
Fine.
First, I'll take a couple of your best cigars.
Very well. After dinner smokes for you and the judge, I take it.
Oh, no, Peavy. If there's anyone I want to avoid this evening, it's Judge Hooker.
Oh? I thought you were having dinner with the judge.
Peavy, I'm having dinner with Catherine Milford. She's a registered nurse.
And the old judge is going to be pretty disappointed.
Oh, Peavy, I can have dinner with the judge anytime, but tonight I've been invited to have dinner with a beautiful girl and her mother. Now, put yourself in my shoes. Wouldn't you rather have dinner with a girl?
I don't know. I haven't seen her mother.
Who's that?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Ooh, the judge. Peavy, don't tell him I have another date. Whoa, hello, Judge.
How are you, Judge?
Well, just fair. I seem to have a raspy throat. Gildy, I've been looking all over for you.
You say you have a sore throat, Judge?
Well...
Say, you should be home in bed.
What? But, Gildy, didn't they tell you at home? I want you to have dinner with me this evening, old friend.
Now, Judge, you shouldn't be out in the night air with a cold. Well, let you do this for me. I'm too good a friend.
My.
Now, Gildy, it's really nothing. I'll get a bag of horehound drops from Peavy.
You look a little feverish, Judge. Peavy, don't you think his face is red?
It always is.
But, Peavy, you're a druggist. A man shouldn't take chances with a cold, should he?
Well, no.
Anybody will tell you the place to be when you're sick is in bed.
Well, I will admit I don't feel as well as when I came in here.
You're a valuable man to the community, Horace. We don't want to lose you.
What?
Go home, Judge, before it's too late.
Well, I hate to welch out of our evening, Gildy, but under the circumstances, perhaps you'll excuse me.
Sure. Go home and go to bed, and tomorrow morning you'll feel fresh and chipper again.
Well, I'll go home and go to bed. Gildy, it's nice of you to be so considerate of my health. Don't you think so, Peavy?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
Peavy, mind your own business. Your daughter plays the piano beautifully, Mrs. Milford.
My Catherine is a very talented girl, Mr. Gildersleeve.
I guess a registered nurse can do about everything. Very good, Catherine.
Thank you.
I always enjoy Chopin.
But that was Beethoven.
Yeah, Beethoven. Well, I always enjoy him, too.
You seem to know a lot about music, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yes, indeed. In fact, I'm publishing a song I wrote.
Really?
Yep. Happen to have a copy of it right here.
Oh, isn't that marvelous, Catherine?
What's it called, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Well, I haven't got a title for it yet. I've got a lot of people working on that.
Why don't you play it for him, Catherine?
Well, perhaps you can play it later. We don't want to keep you up, Mrs. Milford.
I'd love to play it, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh?
Come over to the piano. You can sing it.
Thank you. I wrote the song several years ago, but I've just now started doing something about it.
Are you ready, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Huh? Oh, yes. There's an old familiar strain, a haunting refrain that takes me back to days of yore. I see a chapel on the hill, spring's first daffodils reflected in the mill pond from the shore. I recall in memory 2 names on a tree, our first kiss in that old canoe. And though we drifted far apart, this song is in my heart. It's a melody of love and you.
You have a beautiful voice, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Just imagine, Catherine. Our water commissioner is also a talented songwriter.
Well, I'm a man of many crafts.
Indeed you are. Now, children, if you'll excuse me, Mother will run up to date.
Oh, we'll be delighted to have you stay.
Well,
But if you think you should go... Mother knows best.
I really think I should leave you two alone. Catherine is so busy, it isn't often she has a beau.
Oh, Mother.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Mother.
Ta-ta. By George, Catherine, your mother's a wonderful woman.
Mother is sweet.
Well, she takes after her daughter.
Mr. Gildersleeve, you're a pixie.
Yeah. Well, what do we talk about now?
I think I'll go out in the kitchen and get some more coffee.
Good idea. Might as well get a lot.
Excuse me a moment.
Hurry back. What a girl. Well, I'll make it up to the judge somehow. But I wouldn't miss a cozy evening with Catherine for anything.
Oh, dear. I hope that isn't somebody wanting me to go out on special duty.
Yeah, so do I.
Hello? Yes, this is Miss Milford. No, I'm not. If it's absolutely necessary, of course, I'll come at once. Who? Well, just a moment. I'm sorry, Mr. Gildersleeve, but I have to go out on a call.
Yeah, so I gathered.
I don't know why, Mr. Gildersleeve, but my patient says he wants to talk to you.
Me? Hello?
Hello, Gildy.
Oh, Judge Hooker. What a sneaky way to ruin my evening.
The great Gildersleeve will sing the rest of his song in just a minute. Then, you name it. Win one of more than 1,300 cash prizes. Stake your claim on the grand prize of $5,000 in cash. Send your entry together with the red end flap of a package of Parquet Margarine to Parquet Margarine, Box 5167, Chicago 77, Illinois. The contest is open to listeners in the United States, Canada, and Hawaii. The first week's contest ends October 8th. So hurry, your entry may win up to $6,000 in cash.
What a shame Catherine had to go out on a case tonight.
Yes, isn't it?
Of course, I'm delighted, Mr. Gildersleeve. It isn't often I have a chance to spend an evening with a talented man like you.
Me?
Gracious, a big city official, a songwriter, a singer. I don't suppose you'd sing your song just for me.
Well, there is a second chorus if you'd like to hear it.
Oh, I'd love to.
In my reverie it seems a summer moon beams o'er fields that wander on and on to where a lane that we called ours hid among the flowers and welcomed cooling showers before the dawn. There's a lilac trellised gate where each night we'd wait to breathe the fragrance in the air. And so wherever I may roam, my thoughts will turn to home. For I know that love and you are there.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, you're wonderful.
What did Catherine say about every man falling in love with their mother? I gotta watch it. Would you like a 6-inch vinyl plastic record of my song? You don't need one for the contest, but it's a nice souvenir, and having a record to play might inspire prize-winning ideas. If you'd like a record, send 25 cents and the red end flap of a package of Parquet to the contest address, Parquet Margarine, Box 5167, Chicago 77, Illinois. Then you can hear me sing my song as often as you want to.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry, and the show is written by Paul West, John Elliott, and Andy White, with music by Jack Meakin. Included in the cast are Walter Tetley, Mary Lee Robb, Lillian Randolph, Earl Ross, and Dick LeGrand. This is Jay Stewart saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company, makers of the famous line of Kraft quality food products. Be sure to listen in next Wednesday and every Wednesday for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
You know, probably every woman at some time has thought about meeting and marrying a gay, romantic dreamer. Such a man is Roger Hoyt, whom you'll meet in the fascinating daytime serial Marriage for Two, which the Kraft Foods Company will bring you every morning, Monday through Friday, starting next Monday, October 3rd. See your local paper for time and station. Follow the absorbing story of the marriage of Roger and serene, conservative, lovable Vicky, two very much in love young people with two violently conflicting concepts of life. That's Marriage for Two, every morning, Monday through Friday. A true-to-life emotional drama of contemporary American marriage.
Your tune for the stars on NBC.
The Kraft Foods Company, makers of Kraft Quality Foods, presents Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve. How would you like to win $6,000 in cold cash or any one of the more than 1,300 other cash prizes in Parky Marjorine's great $50,000 Name My Song contest? It's one of the easiest and most exciting contests in radio, and it's open to listeners in the United States, Canada, and Hawaii. Hear all about it in our next announcement. And now, the Great Gildersleeve, brought to you by the makers of Parquet, the margarine millions prefer because it tastes so good. That's Parkay. Parquet margarine, made by Kraft. Well, it's late afternoon in Summerfield. The big round October sun is setting, and the Great Gildersleeve is homeward bound.
By George, after a full day at the office, there's nothing like getting home to the family. Well, here comes little Leroy on his bicycle.
Hiya! Look, no hands!
Leroy, look out! Oop, right through Bullard's hedge. I knew it. Oh, for goodness sake. Are you all right, Leroy?
I skinned my knee!
You're always skinning your knees. Let me see it, my boy. Nothing serious, fortunately. Just a small scratch on your knee.
You mean there's no blood?
No, Leroy, and don't sound so disappointed. Sometimes I think you try to have accidents. Why can't you be sane and level-headed like Marjorie?
Oh, me?
Yes, you. The idea of riding no hands. Your sister would never do a thing like that.
Oh, yeah? Look what's coming around the corner.
Marjorie, confound it! I'm going to talk to that girl. Get up, Leroy. Marjorie! Where did she go?
She's upstairs, Miss Gildersleeve.
Oh, hello, Bertie.
I'm pressing her jacket so she can go out again.
Out again? She just got home.
Oh, Miss Marjorie sure having herself a time since she started college. All she does is come in and go out again. In again, out again. Scampering here, scooting there, run. She's really flying.
Yeah, so I've noticed.
Hello, Unky. Bertie, is my jacket pressed?
Sure is, Miss Marjorie. Put it on while it's hot.
Yep. Marjorie, I want to have a talk with you.
Well, I haven't time right now, Unky. How about Sunday?
Sunday? But this is only Friday.
Well, I know, Unky, but I've got a lot of things to do. I've got to meet the gang, and the big game is tomorrow afternoon, and we're having a victory dance tomorrow night. I'm in a whirl.
Hi, level-head.
What?
What an example for a little kid.
Yeah, no.
But look, you said...
Never mind. Marjorie, what's come over you since you started college? I was just pointing you out to Leroy as a good example, and you come skidding around the corner in that awful car. Who's that driving?
That was Bronco.
Bronco? I thought he drove like a wild horse. He's a maniac, that's what he is.
He's not a maniac, Unky. He's on the football team.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, second-string maniac.
Stop it, Leroy. He's a very careful driver, Unky. If he wasn't, I wouldn't go with him to the victory dance at the Grass Lake Inn tomorrow night.
Grass Lake? Now, see here, Marjorie. I don't want any youngster of mine running up to Grass Lake on a Saturday night.
Well, Unky, I'm not a youngster anymore.
Who's chaperoning this party?
Why do we need chaperones? We're in college.
Well, I was in college once myself. These things should have chaperones.
But, Unky, nowadays students manage their own activities. Everything's under the supervision of the student council.
Oh? And who supervises the student council?
Well, the president of the council.
And who's the president?
Bronco.
Bronco. That does it. Marjorie, your old uncle hates to do this, but he's going to put his foot down. You're not going.
Unky.
You go out with a crowd like that, you never know what's going to happen. It's irresponsible kids like Bronco in those fast cars that cause all the trouble today.
Uncle Mort, that's not true.
I've got to draw the line someplace, and by George, I'm drawing it. The Grass Lake dance is out.
All right. If Grass Lake is out, so's the game tomorrow.
What?
I'll just stay home.
No, Marjorie, I didn't say that.
If you won't trust me to go to a dance, you shouldn't trust me to go anyway.
Marjorie, wait a minute. Little Marjorie. She acts more like a woman every day. Marjorie eat her dinner, Bertie?
No, sir. I took a plate up to her, but she wouldn't touch it.
Hand it to me. I still got room for it.
Leroy, you've had 2 helpings already.
But, Unc, I'm a growing boy.
Yeah, well, you've grown enough for one day.
Leroy's still growing, but Miss Marjorie ain't.
What?
She's already growed up. She's a young lady.
Now, Bertie, she's a very young lady. She still needs guidance.
Yes, sir.
Marjorie's at an age where she thinks she knows more than her old uncle.
Yes, sir.
Well, don't you think I did the right thing, Bertie?
Most finished, Mr. Gildersleeve?
I'll bet that's Bronco coming to call on Marjorie. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Anything to cheer her up. Well, come in, Bronco.
Bronco.
Oh, Judge Hooker. Thought you were somebody else.
Whom were you expecting? A horse?
And all I got was an old goat. Judge, my nerves are bad enough without listening to that cackle.
What's wrong, Gildy? Are you worrying about that song you wrote?
That's the only thing I'm not worrying about, Horace. If other things around here were going as well as my song, I'd be all right.
I dropped in to tell you, Gildy, the secretaries down at the courthouse are all trying to think up titles for it.
Well, good.
There's an old familiar strain, a haunting refrain. I sang it for Miss Upjohn in the filing department. She cried.
I'm not surprised.
Hello, Leroy. Good evening, Bertie.
Hi, Judge.
Good evening, Judge.
Marjorie out this evening, Gildy?
No, Judge, Marjorie's up in her room. She won't speak to me. Just because I refuse to let her go racing up to Grass Lake to that victory dance tomorrow night.
Now, wait. Why can't she go? After all, Gildy, we mustn't forget this is a very important occasion for the young people.
I'm not arguing about the occasion, Horace. What I object to are these irresponsible kids driving fast jalopies way up to Grass Lake.
I understand your concern, Gildy, but try to remember when you were in school. You drove a car.
I had a Model T sedan. I could go 30 miles an hour with a strong tailwind. These jalopies have 28 cylinders. They sound like a B-29.
I know, it's a problem. But it might be much wiser, Gildy, to take a more active interest in Marjorie's college life. Join in. Have you thought of going with the kids up to Grass Lake?
You mean as a chaperone?
Well, you don't have to be so obvious about it. You could get a date and go, too.
You mean double date?
Yeah, you could call it that.
Not a bad idea.
What about taking that cute little nurse that you've been squiring lately?
Miss Milford?
Or won't she take your case?
Don't worry about that, Judge. Come to think of it, it might be a good idea to have a trained nurse up there. By George, Horace, I think I'll do it.
Good. Let's go down to Peavy's drugstore and celebrate with a lemon phosphate.
Yep. I can't do it, Judge. I've got to see a nurse about a dance. Marjorie, the florist was here this morning.
The floor?
That got her. Good morning, my dear. Flowers for you.
Oh, I guess they're from Bronco.
No, they're from Unky. Marjorie?
I don't want any flowers.
But they're for you to wear to the dance tonight.
The dance? You mean I can go?
Sure. And you're going to the game this afternoon, too. I'm sorry about last night, my dear. Bertie will press your prettiest dress. You'll wear this pretty corsage, and you'll be the prettiest girl on the floor.
Oh, Uncle Mort, thank you.
That's all right.
And I'm sorry I behaved the way I did, too.
Well, let's just forget it, huh? There's no reason why we shouldn't have a good time at the dance tonight.
We?
Well,
Hey, is we going out?
Of course we're going, Leroy.
Now, wait a minute, Uncle Mort. What do you mean by we?
Well, I thought perhaps...
Uncle Mort, if you think we have to have a chaperone...
Oh, no, that isn't the idea at all. I thought we'd do something we've never done before. Double date.
Double date?
Sure, the four of us will be college kids. You and Bronco would like that, wouldn't you?
I guess so.
Fine.
But, Unky, you wouldn't enjoy yourself with a bunch of college kids.
Yes, I will. I'll force myself.
Who are you taking?
Taking? Oh, Catherine Milford, the nurse.
Some forcing.
Leroy.
I saw her, Unc. Woo!
That will do, Leroy. A couple of adults are talking something over. Well, how about double dating, Marjorie?
Well, Uncle Mort...
You like Catherine. She hasn't been out of school long herself. Nursing school.
Well, Bronco and I had planned to go with Francie and Skinny.
All right. If you don't want to go with your old uncle.
Oh, Uncle
If you don't want to be seen with me.
Well, you know it's not that.
It's all right. I don't mind.
All right, Unky, you win.
Oh, what a sneaky way to chaperone a party.
Leroy.
Could you use $6,000? Here's how you may win the prize of a lifetime in Parkey Margarine's $50,000 Name My Song contest. Gildersleeve needs a title for his song, the one he'll sing later on in the program. And for the best title sent in, each week for 5 weeks, Parkey Margarine will award 4 $1,000 cash prizes, 20 $100 cash prizes, 50 $20 cash prizes, 200 $10 cash prizes, and in addition, a final grand prize of $5,000 extra for the title finally chosen. Your entry may win you a total of $6,000 in cash. You don't need to know a note of music. A single word, just a few at most, may win. Send your title for Gildersleeve's song together with the red end flap from a package of Parkey Margarine to Parkey Margarine, Box 5167, Chicago 77, Illinois. Your food dealer has entry blanks containing complete contest rules and the words of the song. Or use plain paper if you prefer. Be sure to include your own name and address and that of your Parkey dealer. Remember, send your entry together with the red end flap of a Parkey package to Parkey Margarine, Box 5167, Chicago 77, Illinois. Entries for this week's contest must be postmarked before midnight next Saturday. So hurry, it may be worth $6,000 to you. Well, the great Gildersleeve and his niece Marjorie had opposing views about her attending a college dance up at Grass Lake Inn. The great man didn't get very far until he employed an old strategy. If you can't beat the opposition, join them.
Pretty crafty. Hello, Peavy.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. What can I do for you this afternoon?
Well, I don't know exactly, Peavy. I'm going to a dance tonight up at Grass Lake.
Oh, a dance? Well, how about some talcum powder to sprinkle in your shoes? Very soothing.
No, Peavy. This is the college victory dance. I'd like to get some pom-poms or silly hats. Something with a party spirit.
You don't have any hats or pom-poms.
No noisemakers?
Well, I have a couple of cap pistols left over from 4th of July. They make quite a noise.
Yeah, cap pistols. I don't want any shooting. That's the reason I'm going, to keep this dance safe and sane.
Well, if you want the party spirit, Mr. Gildersleeve, I might suggest this book.
Book?
Yes, it's titled Droll Remarks and Humorous Replies for All Occasions.
Oh, for goodness sake.
I'm trying. How about several packages of chewing gum, assorted flavors? Young people enjoy that.
Is that the best thing you can do, Peavy? Chewing gum?
Well, come to think about it, why take anything? Just having a dance can be a lot of fun, if you have girls.
I'm not going just for the fun, Peavy. I was a little worried about Marjorie driving up to Grass Lake with those kids in their fast cars.
Oh?
When a bunch of kids get out like that, they can lose their heads. Need an older person around to balance the boat. I cooked up a clever scheme to get a date and go along.
You taking that pretty little nurse, Miss Milford?
Well, yes.
That was clever.
We're going to sort of chaperone.
Who's going to chaperone you?
Now, Peavy, you know I don't need a chaperone.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Goodbye.
Oh, that sounds like Bronco's car, Unky.
Oh? Yeah, that's Bronco's car. Or was Bronco's car.
I'll run out and meet him.
I think I'll go, too. I'm going to look over that contraption.
Me too.
Leroy, don't you get too close to it. It may not be dead yet.
Hiya, Marge.
Oh, boy, no fenders, no bumpers, no windshield, no hood.
And no sense.
Bronco, I want you to meet my uncle.
How do you do, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Well, how do you do, Bronco?
I've been wanting to meet you, sir.
Well, I've been wanting to meet you, too.
And this is my brother Leroy.
Hello, big fella.
Hi.
I hear you're on the football squad, Bronco.
Well, second string.
Second string, eh? Well, that's better no string at all. Yeah, great game, football.
Oh, did you play football?
I played soccer. I was too heavy for football.
Oh, Unky, here comes Miss Milford.
Well, my date.
Gee, she's keen.
Yeah.
I hope I haven't kept you waiting.
Yeah, not at all, Catherine. You're just in time.
Thanks for offering to pick me up, Mr. Gildersleeve, but I thought it would save time if I dressed at the hospital and came right over. I hope I look all right.
Do you? Yeah. Miss Milford, I'd like to have you meet my niece, Marjorie.
How do you do, Miss Milford?
And my little nephew, Leroy.
Nice to know you, Marjorie. And Leroy.
Yes. And this is Bronco Thompson.
Glad to meet you, Miss Milford.
How do you do? I hear your team won this afternoon.
Isn't it wonderful? The victory dance should be quite a party now.
Yeah, the whole student body went wild after the game. We should have quite a ball.
Oh, boy, I'll bet they wrecked the joint.
Catherine, it's a good thing we're going along to chaperone.
What's that, Uncle Mort?
Hmm? Oh, I said it's good of you to take us instead of going alone.
Oh, we're just tickled that you can go, Mr. Gildersleeve. We wouldn't have it any other way.
Neither would I. Well, I'll back out the old Studebaker, children. Let's pile in and be off to Grass Lake.
Unky, are we going in that?
What?
It's a closed car. We'll suffocate.
Why don't we go in my car, Mr. Gildersleeve?
In that? No, Bronco.
Yes, sure. Why don't we? I've always wanted to ride in a car like Bronco's. A lot of my patients have them.
No wonder they're patients.
Come on, Unky, don't be dull.
Sure, as long as we're going to a college dance. Let's live.
That's precisely what I want to do. Let's take the Studebaker.
Now, Uncle Mort, if you're going to double date, be a good sport.
I'm a good sport, Mark.
3 against 1, Mr. Gildersleeve.
4 against 1. Go ahead, Unc.
Well, with no top, we might get a little cold.
I'll be warm enough if you will.
Well, we'll go under one condition, that I drive.
I don't know. It's pretty tricky.
Well, I'll handle it. I'm pretty tricky myself. Come on, let's get in. How do you open the doors?
Oh, they're welded shut. You step over.
I'm in. So am I. Isn't this fun?
Yeah, I'm in too, I guess. How do you start this thing, Bronco?
Oh, see those 2 wires under the dash?
These?
Yeah, that's it. Hold the wires together and pull up on that rope sticking through the floorboard.
Hold the wires together. Pull up on the rope. Oh, it's in gear. Look out. Goodbye, Leroy. Now, where's second? Whee! Look at it go. Are you having a good time, Catherine?
A lovely time, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Would you care to join me in another cup of fruit punch?
Don't you think you'd better save some for the others?
Oh, they're busy dancing. Oh, by the way, mustn't forget. Wonder where Marjorie is.
There she is, dancing with Bronco.
Oh?
Now, Mr. Gildersleeve, he's holding her at least 2 feet away.
Well, I guess that's far enough.
I must say, everything is very circumspect at this party.
Well, so far.
I think it was very sensible of the student council to have a motorcycle policeman patrolling the road up here.
And you can thank me for that.
Oh.
I called the police chief this morning. Told him to put his best man out here. He's sending out Eagle Eye McBride.
Oh. Well, there's the music again. Seldom I get to dance outside of the hospital.
You mean you dance at the hospital?
Oh, yes. Dancing is a definite aid to many types of patients in convalescence.
Well, let's convalesce.
I'd love to.
La-dee, la-dee-ah, la-dee-ah. Well, this is more like it. La-dee-dee-dee.
I love to hear you sing.
Perhaps I'd better hold you a little closer so you can hear me better.
I beg your pardon.
What? Oh, Bronco. Tag dance?
No, I'm sorry, Mr. Gildersleeve. No singing on the dance floor.
No singing?
Well, if all the gang did it, things would get pretty rowdy. Student council rule.
Oh, yes, student council rule. Well, you fellas are doing a fine job, Bronco.
Oh, thank you, sir.
They've thought of everything, haven't they?
I'll say. Not very exciting in here, is it? Let's go out on the terrace.
Do you think it'll be more exciting out there?
Well, there's always something exciting about walking through French doors. After you.
Thank you, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, what do you know? There's a big moon out here.
Isn't it big? Silhouettes that tree like a fluoroscope.
Fluoroscope? Catherine, I'm afraid your mind is still at the hospital. Why don't you let yourself go? Call me Throckmorton.
I'd like to, Throckmorton.
Why don't we sit here on the bench behind this box hedge, huh?
All right, but there doesn't seem to be anybody else out here.
Anything wrong with that?
Throckmorton, you're holding my hand.
Yep. You may as well know, Catherine. I think you're pretty nice.
Well, there's something you may as well know, too.
Oh?
Your pulse is too fast.
Well, we've been dancing. Catherine?
There are many kinds of pulses, Throckmorton, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Now, Catherine, let's not try to diagnose.
In some pulses, there are signs of aortic insufficiency.
Catherine, how about a little kiss?
And there's a difference between the systolic or maximum and a diastolic or minimum pressures.
Catherine?
Yes, Throckmorton.
Catherine?
I beg your pardon.
It's Bronco again.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gildersleeve. There's a rule that all couples must remain on the dance floor.
Let's go home. Hey, it's kind of windy without a windshield, huh? Think I'll put on Bronco's beanie.
It was nice of Bronco to let us have his car.
Well, Bronco and Marjorie can come home with Francie and Skinny. That's what they wanted to do in the first place.
Now everybody's doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
I like to hear you sing. They shouldn't have hushed you up on the dance floor.
Now, by George, I can sing out here.
Sing your song. I'll close my eyes and listen.
There's an old familiar strain, a haunting refrain that takes me back to days of yore. I see a chapel on the hill, spring's first daffodil, reflected in the mill pond from the shore. I recall in memory 2 names on a tree, our first kiss in that old canoe. And though we've drifted far apart, this song lives in my heart. It's a melody of love and you.
It's lovely, Throckmorton. They don't know what they missed at the dance.
Well, the student council has its little rules and regulations. They're level-headed kids, every one of them.
Certainly.
But by George, I can't blame them for driving around in these jalopies. Certainly is a lot of fun. If you use some sense about it, of course. Look at this little rascal go.
Blowing my hair.
Isn't it fun?
Throckmorton, what's that noise?
Noise? I don't hear any noise. Hey, yes, I do.
Oh, good heavens. It's the police.
Oh, how do you stop this thing? Sensitive brakes.
Where's the fire, freshman?
Eagle Eye McBride. No fire, officer. We're just on our way home from Grass Lake, officer.
You college kids are getting bigger and bigger.
Huh?
Gonna have to give you a ticket, Bub.
Bub?
You were doing 60.
What?
It's irresponsible kids like you in these fast cars that cause all the trouble today.
That's an old familiar strain.
Win up to $6,000 in cash. Send your name for Gildersleeve's song, together with the red end flap of a package of Parquet margarine, your own name and address, and that of your Parquet dealer, to Parquet Margarine, Box 5167, Chicago 77, Illinois. 274 big cash prizes for entries postmarked before midnight this Saturday. The contest is open to listeners in the United States, Canada, and Hawaii. So hurry, everybody. Think what you could do with $6,000 in cash.
Don't forget, folks, you can get a 6-inch vinyl-line plastic recording of my song simply by sending 25 cents in cash and the red end flap of a package of Parquet margarine to Parquet Margarine, Box 5167, Chicago 77, Illinois. Now, this is not part of the contest, but having the record may give you ideas for a prize-winning name, and it's a nice souvenir of this program. For a quarter and a piece of cardboard, how can you lose? Don't forget your return address. By the way, if you'd like to hear what the record sounds like, I'll play part of it for you. The part I was going to sing when that cop stopped us. Bertie, start the Victrola.
Yes, Mr. Gildersleeve.
In my reverie it seems a summer moon beams our fields that wander on and on to where a lane that we called ours hid among the flowers and welcome cooling showers before the dawn. There's a lilac trellised gate where each night we'd wait to breathe the fragrance in the air. And so wherever I may roam, my thoughts will turn to home, for I know that love and you are there. Isn't science wonderful? Good night, folks.
Be sure to listen in next Wednesday and every Wednesday for the further adventures of the great Gildersleeve.
Here's a taste test that counts. Try any meat without mustard. Then add a golden dab of Kraft prepared mustard to your next bite. Taste the difference. There are two kinds of Kraft mustard, you know. Salad mustard, delicately spiced for those who like their mustard mild, or Kraft prepared mustard with snappy horseradish added. Have both on hand. For remember this, when you add a little mustard, you add a lot of tang. Get Kraft prepared mustard.
Stay tuned now for Break the Bank on NBC.
Kraft Foods Company, makers of Kraft Quality Foods, presents Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve. As much as $6,000 in cash to spend any way you want. That's what the grand prize winner of Parquet Margarine's $50,000 Name My Song contest may get for naming Gildersleeve's song. More than 1,300 other prizes. Contest open to listeners in the United States, Canada, and Hawaii. Full details in our next announcement. The Great Gildersleeve and this $50,000 prize contest are brought to you by the makers of Parquet Margarine. The margarine millions prefer because it tastes so good. That's Parkay. Parquet Margarine, made by Kraft. Well, Summerfield's most eligible bachelor is in a gay mood tonight. He has a date with that pretty nurse, Miss Catherine Milford. There's a shine on his shoes, a press in his suit, and a song in his heart. And of course, he wrote the song himself.
There's an old familiar strain. Quite a strain right there. Doesn't sound quite right when I play it. Maybe I can get Marjorie to. Marjorie!
Yes, Unky?
You know what would make my song sound a lot better?
I do, Unc. The Andrews sisters.
Oh, Leroy, come on, Marjorie, play it for me.
All right. But I thought you had a date with Miss Milford.
Well, I have a date at 8 o'clock. If there's anything I hate to do, it's wait around a hospital. Seems silly for a man to go into one of those places standing up. All right, go ahead and play, Marjorie.
Yeah, I'll sing it with you.
You, Leroy?
Sure.
Yes. At your age, you never know if it'll come out bass or soprano.
Yeah, I'm practically a quartetto by myself. Hit it, Marge.
There's an old familiar strain, a haunting refrain that takes me back to days of yore.
Days of yore.
Stop clowning. Come on now.
I see a chapel on the hill, spring's first daffodils reflected in the mill pond from the shore. Good idea. I recall in memory 2 names on a tree, our first kiss in that old canoe. And though we've drifted far apart, this song lives in my heart. It's a melody of love and you.
That was good in the kitchen, Miss Gildersleeve.
Oh, did you like that, Bertie?
Yes, sir. That Leroy's another dentist day.
Yeah?
She's kidding, Leroy.
I just thought of a title for your song, Miss Gildersleeve.
You did?
Yes, sir. It came to me when I was washing the gravy boat.
Oh? What is it, Bertie?
A wooing and canoeing.
A wooing and canoeing?
Well, that's not bad, Bertie.
I don't get it.
Never mind.
Everybody down at the lodge is trying to think of a title, but I got it. A wooing and canoeing.
Well, I certainly appreciate your cooperation, Bertie.
You gonna use my title, Mr.
A
Gildersleeve?
little early to say. A lot of people are sending in titles that are pretty good.
I knew I had a good title when I was washing that gravy boat.
Well, you could have thought of a worse one, I think.
Yes, sir. A wooing and canoeing. It came to me just like that when I was washing the gravy boat. You know how I thought of a wooing and canoeing, Miss Gildersleeve?
Yes, Bertie.
That's right. It came to me when I was washing the gravy boat. A wooing and canoeing.
Bertie never gives up. Come to think of it, I might take Catherine out to see the reservoir this evening. A wooing and canoeing. Not a bad idea. Better get down to the hospital. Hospitals. At least it's more pleasant up here. Those people downstairs paying their bills look pretty sick. What's keeping her? 3? I haven't been waiting that long. It's been a half an hour, though.
Dr. Spencer, wanted in surgery.
Wonder if I should page her. Nurse Milford wanted in Gildersleeve's car. Well, I've been standing long enough. Guess I could sit on the radiator, unless the heat's on. I ought to put some chairs out in these halls.
Throckmorton.
Well, Catherine.
I hope I didn't keep you waiting too long.
No, glad to wait for you.
Then you won't mind waiting a little longer.
Zeef.
Dr. Spencer is performing an operation and I'd like to watch.
But, Catherine, we have a date.
Forgive me, won't you? It's always so hard to leave the hospital. You get so interested in what's going on.
Well, that's all well and good, but you should get away from your work, Catherine. That's the way I do things out at the water department. No matter what's going on, when 5 o'clock comes, bing, bing, I force myself to leave.
Yes, I know. But this is a sympathectomy.
Sympahooctomy?
It's an operation for high blood pressure.
Well, if I have to wait around here much longer, Dr. Spencer can perform a double header.
Oh, Throckmorton, I won't be long. You just make yourself comfortable.
Comfortable? Standing out here?
Oh, dear, I'm sorry. Come down the hall with me. I know just the place for you.
Oh? Down this hall?
Mm-hmm.
But, Catherine, the arrow says maternity ward.
Mm-hmm. There are lots of magazines and easy chairs in here.
Oh?
There. This is the father's room.
The father's room?
Mm-hmm. Just make yourself at home.
All right.
Just relax. Won't be long.
Never thought I'd wait for a girl who wears white cotton stockings. Might as well sit down. Wonder who that fellow over in the corner is. Awfully pale. Needs a shave, too.
Hi.
Hi.
Is this your first?
First? Oh, no. I'm just visiting here. I'm a bachelor.
Bachelor?
Yeah, I'm waiting for my date.
Oh. My name's Johnson. Ralph Johnson.
Well, glad to know you, Ralph. I'm Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, City Water Commissioner.
Glad to meet you, Mr. Gildersleeve. It's good to have somebody to talk to.
Yeah, I imagine it is.
This is my first.
I can see that.
I've been here since 5 this afternoon.
That long?
You got a match?
Match? Oh, yes. Here. I better light it for you.
Thanks.
No, the other end. You're lighting the cork tip.
Oh. Want a magazine?
No, thanks. I read all last year's magazines.
Gosh, Mr. Gildersleeve, you don't know what a father goes through having a baby.
Now, my boy, remember, this happens every day to hundreds of people.
Yeah, but I can't stand this waiting.
Just relax. It won't be long.
I don't know why I can't be as lucky as a buddy of mine. He had a baby last night, and he was only here half an hour.
Oh, well, don't get impatient, Ralph. Maybe your stork overshot the hospital. Yeah, but don't worry. He'll come back.
Oh, gosh, I wonder what the baby will look like. I've been thinking a lot about that. Have you ever seen a new baby, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, I hadn't until I saw my buddy's. He was pretty small.
Oh?
Yeah, only weighed 9 pounds.
Well, 9 pounds isn't a bad start.
Didn't have any hair. Just all red and wrinkled.
Now, Ralph, when I was a baby, I didn't have any hair either. Look at me now. Hey, something must be going on. They keep ringing that bell.
Yeah, they keep ringing it, but nothing happens. Why don't they come out and tell me something?
Better have another cigarette, Ralph. Here, I'll light it.
Thanks.
Think I'll have one, too. Haven't smoked one of these things in years. What was that?
That's my baby. Mr. Gildersleeve is here.
Great. Let's go out and see the little fellow.
Yeah.
Huh?
Hey, nurse. Wait. Here I am.
Hey, nurse. Here we are.
Here, let me see it. Let me get a look at it.
Gentlemen, what's all the excitement?
Well, that's my baby.
Oh, are you Mr. Wilkins?
Wilkins? No.
Well, I didn't think so. His wife said he was a night watchman.
awfully sorry, Ralph. We'd better go back in and sit down.
All right. Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yes, Ralph?
I wonder if I'm ever going to be a father.
What do you mean?
I wonder if something's gone wrong.
No. Remember, Ralph, no news is good news.
Well, that's what they say.
Yeah.
No news is good news.
Wonder if anything is wrong.
Throckmorton.
Oh, hello, Catherine.
It's going to be a long operation, so I decided not to wait.
Oh, Catherine, Miss Milford, this is Ralph. What did you say your name was?
Name? Oh, Johnson. Ralph Johnson.
He's expecting.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? Good luck, Mr. Johnson.
Thanks. I'll need it.
Poor fellow.
Well, Throckmorton, let's go. We still have most of the evening.
Yes. Well,
You were sweet to wait. I spend too much time at the hospital. I shouldn't become so interested in what's going on around here.
Catherine.
Yes? What is it, Throckmorton?
Why don't you run on home? I'll pick you up later.
What?
I can't leave Ralph here alone.
Oh, Throckmorton.
Catherine, please, go home and relax. It won't be long.
Cash prizes, $50,000 worth. As much as $6,000 in cash to the grand prize winner. More than 1,300 prizes in all in Parquet Margarine's great Name My Song contest. Each week for 5 weeks, Parquet Margarine is awarding 4 $1,000 first prizes, 20 $100 cash prizes, 50 $20 cash prizes, 200 $10 cash prizes. Yes, name Gildersleeve's song and you may win one of those prizes. And there's an additional grand prize, $5,000 for the best name of all. Now, you don't need to know music. Just think of a title for Gildersleeve's song. Send it with the red end flap of a package of Parquet Margarine to Parquet Margarine, Box 5167, Chicago 77, Illinois. Your dealer has an entry blank with full instructions and the words of Gildersleeve's song, or a plain piece of paper will do. Be sure to include your own and your dealer's name and address. And write down that address, Parquet Margarine, Box 5167, Chicago 77, Illinois. Entries in this week's contest must be postmarked before midnight this Saturday. So hurry. Imagine winning as much as $6,000 in cash. Well, let's get back to the great Gildersleeve. He came down to the hospital tonight to get his girlfriend, Nurse Catherine Milford. She wasn't quite ready to go, so she had him wait in the father's room. Now the nurse has gone home, but the water commissioner is still on duty.
Have another cigarette, Ralph?
No, thanks. Can't see for the smoke now. I'll never go through this again.
No, Ralph.
This is my first and it's my last. What time is it?
10:15.
Well, Mr. Gildersleeve, you don't have to wait around here with me. You should be out with your nurse.
I'll stay around a little longer. You need company.
Oh, I'm all right. Oh, I think I'll sit down.
You are sitting down.
Well, how are we doing in here?
Doctor, where have you been? What's happening?
Any news, Doctor?
Well, the Yankees won the World Series.
How's my wife? What about my baby?
Everything is fine. We just have to be a little patient. Patient? And don't worry, I've never lost a father yet.
Oh, my goodness.
Are you a relative?
No, I'm Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, the water commissioner.
Oh? Something wrong with the pipes around here?
No, Doctor, I'm just standing by. I'm a friend of Mr. What'd you say your name was?
Johnson.
Oh, yes, Ralph Johnson.
Doctor, are you sure everything's okay?
Now, you look a little drawn, Johnson. Why don't you step out and get a sandwich and some black coffee?
Well...
You'll have a little time. See you later. I'd better be getting back now.
Oh, what do you think, Mr. Gildersleeve? Shall we go?
Well, I'm getting hungry, all right, but I don't know. We wouldn't want to be out when the baby comes.
No, we wouldn't want that.
I could use the phone here and have some sandwiches sent up.
Yeah, there's a lunch counter right across the street.
Well, I think I'll call Mr. Peavy. They want everything sanitary around the hospital. Might as well get the sandwiches from a drugstore.
Your telephone is ringing, Peavy.
Yes, I guess it is. Excuse me, Judge.
Certainly. I'll finish my celery phosphate and be on my way.
Peavy's Pharmacy.
Peavy, this is Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, this is Mr. Peavy.
Yep. I know that. Peavy, I want to order some sandwiches and coffee.
Very well.
I'd like 2 cheese and 2 chicken sandwiches.
Well, it's a little late, Mr. Gildersleeve. How about 4 cheese sandwiches?
What?
Chickens are gone to bed.
All right, Peavy, make it 4 cheese. Can you send them over?
I guess the messenger service is still open. Are you at home?
No, I'm at the hospital, Peavy.
Your hospital? My.
I'm in the father's room.
Oh, yes?
The father's room, Peavy.
That's what I thought you said.
Send him right over. Goodbye.
Goodbye. You hear that, Judge?
Hear what, Peavy?
Mr. Gildersleeve's at the hospital in the father's room.
What? Gildy couldn't be there.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. He said he was.
I just saw a nurse in the hall, Ralph, but I didn't find out anything.
Those nurses. They don't know what it is to be a father.
Wonder where that messenger is.
I don't know if I can eat anything or not.
Oh, we have to keep our strength up, my boy. Certainly is quiet around here.
Well, here comes somebody.
Huh? Must be the boy with the sandwiches.
Is this where I'll find Dr. Kildare?
Oh, Judge Hooker.
I brought your sandwiches, Gildy.
Oh, well, thanks, Judge.
What are you doing in the father's room? Giving birth to a new song?
This is no time for foolishness, you old goat.
I'm sorry, Gildy. Somebody waiting for a blessed event?
What do people usually wait for in a maternity ward? Judge, this is Ralph Johnson. Judge Hooker, Ralph.
How do you do, young man?
Glad to know you, Judge.
I take it you're the father-to-be.
I hope so.
Here, Ralph. Have a sandwich.
Oh, thanks.
Wait a minute. Before you bite, take the paper off.
Oh.
Your young friend seems a little nervous, Gildy.
That's precisely why I'm seeing him through this, Judge.
Tell me, young man, is this your first?
Yeah.
Now, Judge, don't talk about it. You'll just worry him.
Sometimes talking about it helps, Gildy. Now, take my operation.
Oh, my goodness. Please, Judge.
Very well. What are you hoping for, Mr. Johnson, boy or girl?
Well...
We don't care which it is, so long as it gets here.
Yeah. That's right, Mr. Gildersleeve. I'd settle for anything. Gosh, it's been a long time since that doctor was in.
Hi, fellas.
Well, if it isn't Mr. Munson.
Floyd.
Is he a doctor?
Hardly. He's a barber. Floyd, what are you doing here?
Me? Well, I dropped in at the Peeves to pick up some aspirin. He told me you was over here. Hey, what's going on, Commish?
Well, nothing yet. Ralph here is expecting a baby.
No kidding.
Ralph, meet Floyd Munson.
Hello, Mr. Munson.
Hi, Ralph. Care for an aspirin?
Yeah. Gosh, I'll take 2. I need something.
Ralph's been waiting over 5 hours.
It's his first, Floyd.
Yeah? What's that, triplets?
No, Floyd. In hospitals, those bells ring all the time. I remember when I had my operation...
Judge, please.
Hey, look, here comes the Peeve.
Peavy, too? Oh, this place is beginning to look like the Elks Club.
Come in, Peavy.
Yeah, good evening, gentlemen.
Peavy, what are you doing here?
Well, I might ask you the same, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, we're expecting. I mean, Ralph is. Over there in the corner.
He's asleep.
Well, I'll be done.
Poor fella. Well, he's had a hard night. And so have I.
Hey, how long can a deal like this go on, Commish?
Well, these things take time, Floyd. Plus, we haven't had any news for quite a while.
There's a nurse going down the hall.
Why don't you ask her about it, Commish?
Think I will. Nurse! Oop. Nurse!
Yes,
Nurse, what about the Johnson baby?
the Johnson baby.
I've been waiting here since 8 o'clock. Nothing has happened.
Well, when the baby arrives, I'm sure you'll be the first to know, Mr. Johnson.
What?
He ain't Mr. Johnson.
Oh, then you're Mr. Johnson.
No, I'm Munson, the barber.
I see. Oh, I should have known who the father is all the time. The worried-looking man.
Me? Well, I wouldn't say that.
time is it, Judge?
Well, it's 1 minute before midnight.
My.
Hey, there goes the doctor. Doctor, any word?
Not yet.
We didn't waken Ralph, did we?
Nah, he's still sleeping. At least he ain't worrying the way we are.
Floyd, there's no reason for you fellows to be worrying about anything. Ralph and I can handle this. Why don't you, the judge, and the Peavy go home?
Gildy, since we've stayed this long, I, for one, would like to stay a little longer.
You ought to go home, Judge. You'll fall asleep on the bench tomorrow.
Now, Gildy, we may hear glad tidings at any moment.
Well, perhaps I should call Mrs. Peavy before she calls the Bureau of Missing Persons.
Peavy, there's absolutely nothing you can do here.
Well, Mr. Gildersleeve, you know the Hippocratic Oath. I may be just a pharmacist, but I don't leave until the baby comes.
I'm staying, too. I ain't no hypocrite either.
All right, we'll all stay. Well, at least poor Ralph is still sleeping.
He's smiling now. Probably dreaming the baby's already here. He's twin.
I think I'll toss my coat over him. Oh, I'm a little stiff.
Judge, you got any affidavits with you?
Not just now, Floyd. Why?
The wife will never believe I stayed up until 4 a.m. with a sick friend.
Well, I've been here longer than any of you. I've been here 8 hours.
Peavy, is it customary for these events to take so long?
Well, that all depends.
I know everything's going to be all right. Don't you, Peavy?
Oh, yeah. Don't you feel that way, Judge?
Oh, absolutely. I'm confident of the outcome. Aren't you, Floyd?
Sure, it's a breeze. Ain't it, Commish?
The sun is lovely this morning.
8:30. Yes, Marjorie and little Leroy are having their breakfast now.
They've been serving it here since 6 o'clock. We should have snagged one of them trays as they went by. Hey, here comes another one.
Floyd?
I'm only kidding, Commish.
Floyd, it's almost time for you to open the barber shop.
Let the customers wait. Little Floydie Munson ain't gonna walk out on a nothing-to-nothing ball game.
There goes the doctor again, Gildy.
Oh?
Gee, we ain't seen him for 3 hours.
Hey, doctor! Doctor!
Apparently he didn't hear you.
Just didn't want to hear me. Wonder if they're trying to keep something from us.
Don't look good to me, Commish.
Seems like they could tell us something.
By George, I've got a good notion to go out after that doctor and find out.
Yeah, let's get this show on the road.
Good morning.
Catherine.
Throckmorton, have you been here all night?
Well...
I see you have.
Miss Milford, you know these gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning.
Catherine, they won't tell us a thing about Ralph Johnson's baby.
Where is Mr. Johnson?
He's over there asleep.
Oh.
Come on, guys. Let's find that doctor.
Yes, I think we have a right to talk to him.
I'll go knock on the door.
Yeah, make them talk.
Now, gentlemen, just a moment.
What?
You've all been dears to wait up with his father, but you've lost sleep and your nerves are on
Well,
edge.
I think
Let
we
me
ought...
go across the hall and see if I can bring back some news.
Would you, Catherine?
Well, I don't think it will be necessary. Is this what you gentlemen have been waiting for?
Well, the baby.
Isn't it cute?
Let me see it.
Don't shove, Judge.
It's a Johnson, all right. It says so on the beads.
Is it a boy or a girl?
It's a boy.
You hear that, Catherine? It's a cigar. Have a boy. I mean... Somebody wake up Ralph. He should have a cigar, too.
You know, Throckmorton, I think you'd make a wonderful father.
Me? No, sir. I'll never go through this again.
$50,000 in cash prizes, as much as a total of $6,000 to the grand prize winner. That's the big reason you should sit down right now and think of a name for Gildersleeve's new song. You'll hear it again in a minute. Send your title, together with the red end flap of a package of Parquet Margarine, to Parquet Margarine, Box 5167, Chicago 77, Illinois. Just think, a word or one simple phrase may be worth $6,000 to you in cash. But hurry, entries for this week's contest must be postmarked before midnight this Saturday. Open to listeners everywhere in the United States, Canada, and Hawaii.
Don't forget, folks, you can get a 6-inch vinyl plastic recording of my song for only 25 cents and the red end flap of a package of Parquet Margarine. You don't need the record to enter the contest, but it might inspire a prize-winning idea. Send your quarter and the flap to Parquet Margarine, Box 5167, Chicago 77, Illinois. That's Box 5167, Chicago 77, Illinois. Same address as the contest. And now that Leroy isn't around with his bass soprano, maybe you'd like to hear how the song sounds on the record. Let's try the second chorus. In my reverie it seems a summer moonbeam, or fields that wander on and on, to where a lane that we call ours, hid among the flowers, and welcomed cooling showers before the dawn. There's a lilac trellised gate where each night we'd wait to breathe the fragrance in the air. And so wherever I may roam, my thoughts will return to home. For I know that love and you are there.
Gosh, Unc, I thought it sounded better with me in it.
Leroy, good night, folks.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry. The show was written by Paul West, John Elliott, and Andy White, with music by Jack Meakin. Included in the cast are Walter Tetley, Mary Lee Robb, Lillian Randolph, Earl Ross, and Dick LeGrand. This is Jay Stewart saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company, makers of the famous line of Kraft quality food products. Be sure to listen in next week and every Wednesday for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Good night.
Want to put magic in leftover meals? Then have plenty of Kraft prepared mustard on hand. Mustard makes hidden flavors pop right out of leftover meats, adds new life to salad or egg dishes. You can get two kinds of Kraft prepared mustard, you know. Salad mustard, mild, delicately spiced, or Kraft mustard with snappy horseradish added. Have both on hand, for when you add a little mustard, you add a lot of tang. Get Kraft prepared mustard.
You are tuned for the stars on NBC.